What if I told you the entire reality TV empire just cracked at the seams because one star got too bold, too messy, and way too comfortable with lying under oath? What if I told you that Bambi might not be prepping for another reunion show, but for a prison jumpsuit fitting instead? Oh, you thought this was just another petty love and hip-hop spat? Sweetie, this isn't your average bottle-throwing, side chick-blaming nonsense. This is about a calculated, cold-blooded lie so messy, so publicly destructive, it might land Bambi behind bars. And who's at the center of it all? None other than Stevie J the man, with more industry secrets than a TMZ inbox. Now imagine a courtroom, doors locked, cameras off. But the mic accidentally left on and a voice screams, "I'd rather rot in jail than let y'all lie on my name." That wasn't a movie scene. That was real life. Allegedly, because what followed? Next, leaked voice memos, fake screenshots, defamation lawsuits, witness tampering claims, a social media circus. And now insiders are whispering that Bambi's empire of drama is crashing down, one fraudulent receipt at a time. So buckle up, because this isn't reality TV anymore. This is the scandal that's rewriting the script entirely. And oh baby, we just hit play. Now let's rewind this whole train wreck and get into the dirty, chaotic, jaw-dropping mess that has social media foaming at the mouth and the legal system grabbing popcorn. At the center of this unholy reality TV explosion is Bambi S. Her, again, the woman who went from fashionably feuding in the love and hip-hop spotlight to potentially faking an entire affair and standing knee-deep in legal hot water. And not just any affair, no. This one had the audacity to include Stevie J, the man who's been in more scandals than seasons. You'd think with all the cameras, lights, and lip gloss, the truth would be too scared to come out. But baby, the truth didn't just come out, it tripped over a courtroom bench, spilled all the receipts, and screamed into a hot mic. And here we are, according to Insiders Anonymous, of course, but absolutely salivating with details. This whole Bambi and Stevie J affair scandal wasn't just messy, it was meticulously crafted. Fake texts, doctored screenshots, conveniently timed breakdowns on camera, and strategically placed sympathy posts online. The more people looked into it, the more it started to smell like expired reality TV ratings bait. And Bambi, she played her role with a Grammy-worthy performance, right down to the trembling lip and the "I just want peace" monologue. But behind the lashes and the camera-ready tears, there was allegedly a playbook in motion, a full-on strategy to destroy Stevie J's name while flipping the narrative to gain public favor. And for a while, it worked. People ate it up. Blogs ran with it, Twitter lit up. Stevie J, the villain of every cheating storyline from Atlanta to Miami, suddenly looked like he'd been caught slipping again. But something about the story didn't sit right. The receipts didn't line up. The timelines were off. The screenshots blurry, inconsistent, and conveniently cropped. And that's when the whispers began. Started with a DM from a makeup artist who claimed she overheard Bambi rehearsing lines before her live. Then a sound engineer from the show said in a podcast interview that there were takes of Bambi saying things that had to be edited out because they contradicted her public narrative. And then came the leaks. First, it was a screen recording of her group chat where she allegedly asked a friend to create a fake text thread for the gram. Then a voice memo dropped where she supposedly practiced how to cry on cue. Fans were divided, some screaming setup, others screaming karma, but the internet was watching, and so was the court. Behind the scenes, Stevie J wasn't just sipping tea. He was compiling, he was collecting. And reportedly, he was talking to lawyers. You see, Stevie's team had been keeping quiet, but they weren't sleeping. They had receipts, 2-time stamped messages, travel logs, and even surveillance footage that placed Stevie J hundreds of miles away. When Bambi claimed they were secretly hooking up, boom, the castle started crumbling. And right when you thought it couldn't get any worse, courtroom transcripts leaked. showing that Bambi's own legal team was struggling to defend her. One quote in particular, allegedly, Bambi broke down in tears and screamed, "I'd rather go to prison than let y'all lie on me." Dramatic? Yes. Noble? Maybe, but also suspicious. Because right after that emotional outburst, a new witness emerged. A former assistant claimed they were paid to help fabricate the entire affair story. Screenshots of alleged payments were posted. Bank transactions matched the timeline. And suddenly, Bambi's one sympathetic narrative was falling apart in real time. Industry insiders began distancing themselves. Castmates unfollowed her. Deals got paused. Rumors swirled that her PR team dropped her altogether after realizing the storm couldn't be spun anymore. And Stevie J kept it cool on the surface, posting cryptic messages like, "Let the truth work." But his lawyers came prepared. Whispers of a defamation suit, millions in damages, few informal statements being drafted, all pointed to the same endgame. Bambi was no longer just in the middle of a messy breakup story. She was being investigated. Because allegedly, what started as a clout grab turned into a coordinated smear campaign. And when lawyers, money, and credibility are all on the line, the clout train screeches to a halt real quick. That's when fans started flipping. Social media turned from support to suspicion. One viral thread laid out all the inconsistencies in Bambi's story from start to finish. People who once defended her were now deleting tweets. Memes went from sympathy posts to side-eyes and jail bars. And let's not forget the cast. Word on the street says even the network behind Love and Hip Hop started pulling back. Frozen contracts, postponed scenes, radio silence. And why? Because if the legal system steps in and proves that Bambi knowingly lied and faked evidence to ruin someone's reputation, that's no longer just messy, it's criminal. And criminal means charges, jail time, career over. The girl who built her brand on being blunt and fearless might have just taken it a step too far. And now, the entire empire she fought to build with drama, storylines, and viral moments is hanging by a thread that's fraying fast. The moment those leaks hit the timeline, the internet went from curious to chaotic in seconds. Twitter threads turned into digital war zones. Reddit forums exploded with conspiracy theories. And YouTube commentators were already prepping their think pieces before the dust even settled. But behind all that online noise was a paper trail, so detailed it could make a forensic accountant sweat. And at the center of that paper trail was Bambi, no longer the reality TV darling with a sharp tongue and a good camera angle. But now the woman whose lies may have crossed the line from drama to criminal intent. See, while the fans were busy reposting clips and arguing in the comments, legal teams were building cases. According to court insiders, investigators began quietly reviewing digital communications, financial records, and even backstage footage from the show. And what they found wasn't just messy, it was explosive. Allegedly, Bambi had been paying people off, funneling money through third-party accounts to bribe potential witnesses into backing her story. One of the most damning pieces of evidence was reportedly a string of bank transfers tied to aliases, leading straight back to her inner circle. Combine that with the leaked voice memos and fabricated screenshots, and suddenly this wasn't about reputation anymore. It was about fraud, perjury, and deliberate character assassination. One anonymous insider said the district attorney's office took a sudden interest when they received what they called incredibly persuasive digital evidence. That Bambi not only lied about her affair with Stevie J, but constructed an entire narrative meant to damage his personal and professional reputation on a national scale. And when you're faking a scandal to destroy someone's brand while profiting off the fallout, you better believe the consequences are heavier than just a bad edit on TV, according to alleged internal documents. Even producers began panicking. The show's network was reportedly blindsided when a behind-the-scenes employee blew the whistle. This crew member, who worked on multiple seasons, claimed in a sworn statement that they had knowledge of scenes being altered or even scripted, entirely based on Bambi's demands. This wasn't just breaking the fourth wall. This was weaponizing the platform to wage a personal vendetta. And it didn't stop there. Another document that found its way into the wrong hands showed a PR strategy labeled Operation Sympathy. It allegedly included plans to release edited footage, emotional interviews, and manufactured interactions to keep public favor tilted in Bambi's direction. She wanted control, and for a while, she had it. But the controls started unraveling fast. Once Stevie J's lawyers entered the chat, everything changed. They weren't just out to clear his name, they were out to make an example. According to reports, they compiled over 100 pages of evidence, including timestamps, audio files, and witness testimonies, all pointing to one thing: the affair never happened. One former stylist even testified that she was present during teas. And I no way, like, look at this. And we all know I've been exploring. And we all know I've been exploring that path. And including tea stomps, audio, a supposed rendezvous between Bambi and Stevie. And not only did the meeting never occur, but Stevie wasn't even in the same state at the time. And if that wasn't enough, security footage from a hotel Bambi claimed they secretly met it showed zero evidence of him entering or leaving. Meanwhile, Stevie J kept playing it cool in public, letting the evidence speak for itself while quietly preparing to drop the legal hammer. Sources say his team filed paperwork for a defamation lawsuit seeking millions in damages. But more importantly, they began working with investigators to pursue criminal charges. That's when things escalated from TV scandal to potential felony. Allegations of perjury, obstruction of justice, and witness tampering began swirling. Prosecutors reportedly opened an inquiry into Bambi's statements under oath, particularly the ones made during mediation and behind closed courtroom sessions. If proven, lying under oath alone could carry serious consequences. But combining that with falsified evidence and attempts to influence testimony, that's a whole different level of legal nightmare. And now Bambi found herself not just at the mercy of the internet, but at the mercy of the law. Word started spreading that her inner circle was cracking under pressure. People who once supported her began distancing themselves, some even flipping entirely. One former confidant who had appeared with her in multiple episodes allegedly provided text messages and voice recordings contradicting everything Bambi claimed publicly. These recordings, which have yet to be authenticated but are reportedly being reviewed by investigators, include moments where Bambi is allegedly heard plotting how to manipulate social media and plant fake witness stories online. Another clip allegedly captures her saying, "They'll believe whatever I post if I cry enough," in the caption. If true, that's not just deceptive, it's calculated. Her brand, once built on being blunt and real, was now being dissected as a carefully manufactured illusion. The social media landscape turned vicious. Fan pages began deleting support posts. Former castmates liked shady tweets without even bothering to hide it. Even her endorsement deals began to wobble. Brands didn't want to touch the fallout, especially not with the legal dust still swirling. Reports surfaced that one beauty line quietly dropped her from an upcoming campaign after internal legal advisors reviewed the situation. And just when it seemed like it couldn't get worse, someone leaked an internal memo from the network stating that all of Bambi's future appearances were on hold pending legal resolution. Translation: she's been iced out. The woman who once owned every frame she stepped into was now being blurred out of her own narrative. But while the public fallout was ugly, the private unraveling was even worse. According to insiders, Bambi became increasingly paranoid, allegedly refusing to speak to anyone without running it past her attorney first. She stopped answering calls, locked her Instagram comments, and avoided any public events. Her team, once made up of stylists, glam squads, and PR managers, was now reduced to a skeleton crew, and those still standing by her. They're either scared, loyal, or in denial, because the receipts keep coming and they're not looking good. One particularly damning document allegedly shows that Bambi knew, weeks in advance, that the story would fall apart, but proceeded anyway, hoping to ride the sympathy wave long enough to secure another season deal. That line alone sent shockwaves through industry circles. This wasn't just damage control gone wrong. This was full-blown manipulation with a side of ambition so reckless it might have blown up her entire career. Now whispers of bankruptcy and criminal defense lawyers are replacing the glitz and glamour. The empire of influence she fought to build now rests on a crumbling foundation made of fake screenshots, hush money, and courtroom tantrums. And just when the industry thought the scandal had peaked, the walls began closing in faster than anyone expected. What started as a juicy rumor turned federal real quick, with multiple agencies reportedly stepping in to review everything from financial transactions to digital forensics. Prosecutors weren't just interested in the lies themselves. They were now investigating how deep the manipulation ran and whether any part of Bambi's claims were coordinated with third parties to damage Stevie J's career. Allegedly, emails recovered from her cloud storage showed not only media coaching and pre-written statements but also drafts of interviews. She never even gave interviews she planned to release depending on how the public responded. It was like watching someone try to play chess with a chessboard they drew themselves. Except now the real game was being played by people in suits with subpoenas. According to one leaked email, Bambi instructed her PR contact to drop the sympathy post next Thursday if the backlash gets too loud, directly referencing the story's blowback. That email alone is reportedly being flagged as potential evidence of intent to mislead the public, and worse, the courts. And when it comes to perjury, intent is everything. The charges being discussed now go beyond defamation. Think obstruction of justice. Think conspiracy to commit fraud. Think using fabricated evidence to manipulate a legal process and public perception. One insider who works with legal consultants on high-profile celebrity cases said, "This isn't just a scandal. It's a potential criminal enterprise disguised as a reality show storyline." And that's exactly why the network has gone dead silent. No press statements, no scheduled interviews, no teasers. Just cold distance and quiet phone calls behind closed doors. According to reports, producers were blindsided by how far Bambi allegedly went to control the narrative. And now they're trying to wash their hands of it before regulators or advertisers start asking questions. Because this isn't just bad PR. This could trigger lawsuits from investors or partners who feel they were misled by manufactured drama. While Bambi's image continues to burn, Stevie J's is starting to recover. Slowly but strategically. He's reportedly already booked for 2 upcoming projects. And insiders say his team is leaning into the wrongfully accused narrative with receipts to back it up. In an industry where perception is currency, Stevie's sudden silence is reading as strength. It's not begging for sympathy. He's watching the fire from a distance while preparing to walk away with a full bag. But Bambi, her situation is spiraling. One of her closest allies allegedly turned over chat logs to investigators. Those logs contain messages where Bambi reportedly bragged about how easy it is to manipulate the internet and how dumb these fans are. If those messages are proven real, it's not just damaging, it's career-ending. The betrayal is now internal. People who once defended her are now publicly questioning her. Former castmates are giving thinly veiled interviews. Some using phrases like "karma always finds its way," and "sometimes you get caught up in your own script." Her silence has become deafening, and every day she doesn't speak only adds fuel to the speculation. According to reports, she's considering a televised apology or a sit-down interview with a major network. But her legal team is reportedly begging her to stay quiet and let them clean up the mess. The mess. The problem is, this mess might be beyond cleanup. Financially, things aren't looking great. Court filings suggest that Bambi is now facing not just one, but multiple lawsuits, one from Stevie J, another from the production company, and even rumblings of a third from a brand she allegedly defrauded during the height of the scandal. Her team is scrambling to keep things from collapsing entirely. But sources close to the situation say she's already sold off luxury items and scaled back her lifestyle in preparation for mounting legal bills. Meanwhile, fans are calling for accountability like never before. Some say they feel duped for ever believing her. Others claim this proves that reality TV has gone too far. The ripple effect is massive. Networks are reportedly reevaluating how much creative control they give to cast members, especially when the line between scripted content and real-life consequences becomes dangerously thin. Some producers are even pushing for background checks and tighter contracts to avoid future disasters. The truth is, Bambi's fall from grace isn't just about her. It's a warning shot to an entire industry built on blurred lines and exaggerated squeak. And exaggerated drama. But the damage isn't just professional. Insiders say her personal life has taken a brutal hit too. Relationships have crumbled. Old friends have gone ghost. And even some family members are reportedly urging her to face the music and apologize. Whether or not she takes that advice remains to be seen, but one thing's clear. This is no longer about saving face. It's about survival. The court case could stretch on for months, but the court of public opinion has already made up its mind. Bambi went from being a fan-favorite firecracker to a cautionary tale about how clout chasing can go catastrophically wrong. The very platform she used to climb up the fame ladder might now be the one pulling her down. And while she tries to figure out how to reclaim even a fraction of the credibility she once had, the rest of the world is watching, waiting, and screenshotting every move. Whether she ends up behind bars or just bankrupt and blacklisted, the damage is done. And in the end, the biggest scandal wasn't the fake affair, it was the lengths someone went to fake it. And the empire of lies they thought they could build before it all came crashing down. Now that the receipts are out, the lies have unraveled. And the spotlight is hotter than ever. We want to hear from you. Do you think Bambi deserves jail time for fabricating an entire scandal? Was this just another twisted chapter in reality TV? Or did she take it way too far? Should Stevie J hit back with everything he's got, or walk away now that the truth is finally on his side? Drop your thoughts, your theories, and your unfiltered opinions in the comments below, because this story is nowhere near finished. And trust me, more bombshells are coming. If you're as hooked as we are and you live for deep dives into drama that makes headlines tremble, smash that like button and hit subscribe right now. Ring the notification bell so you never miss a twist, a leak, or a scandal that the mainstream media won't touch. Here, we dig where others won't, spill the tea boiling hot, and expose what's really going down behind those perfectly filtered Instagram posts. Don't sit this one out. Get involved, stay informed, and join the only channel brave enough to call it like it is. This is just the beginning.